Hi, yeah, I'm Adam. My job role is on Plymouth Schools Manager. So Stu, who you've previously seen, is my boss, my manager. Um, so I'm in charge of all the staff that goes into schools, all the timetables to do with any school provision we have, and I'm into like meetings with schools to make sure everything's going well. Sometimes I go in and do staff quality assurance to make sure like the standard of our sessions meet in the national curriculum.
Sounds really good. And so you've already touched on a few bits there that I'm sure there's a lot of maths involved, so
Yep.
scheduling, timetable planning. But could you tell us a little bit about how you use your math skills day to day in your role? And then we'll talk about it a little further.
Yeah, I'd say start off even before like getting into schools myself. Look at staffing hours, and obviously like our staff will be on different contracts, so making sure that they are doing their allocated hours. So if there's on 40 hours, they're doing their 40 hours, 30, so on. And another one that Stu did mention was ratio, so staff to kids ratios. We have to make sure that we have the right amount of coaches there compared to the children.
Yeah,
So for PE, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's we're based in the school lessons during school times, so we'll be in, and the ratios are a little bit different because we'll be in with potentially a TA, or if another teacher's there, we're supporting them.
yeah,
But with at school clubs, that's like there's sometimes no teachers involved or no TAs involved, so that'll be just ourselves. So we've got to make sure we have the correct amount of coaches, staff there compared to. Other times I use maths is to look at timetables to make sure just like simple how many coaches we have available and how many clubs we have running at that time. So just say if we've got 10 after school clubs, it's very simple, but I need to make sure I've got enough coaches to cover that.
a lot of logistics involved in that one. Yeah,
Yeah. Another one would be similar to Stu, but I look at just the school side of it, of like how the invoices and how much money would come in from the schools and how much our allocated hours of our staff goes towards the school hours, the school's coaching.
yeah,
So to make sure that. I look at also like holiday and staff's leave. So obviously we will get allocated amount of holiday and leave. So to make sure everyone's getting their right amount of leave and not to certain amount of days people can have on the same days, if that makes sense. So we can only have like two members of staff off at a time, else we won't have enough staff to cover our provisions. Obviously, when I'm delivering, because I manage the school's program, but
yeah.
I deliver in schools myself, so there's lots of little bits of maths go on during the sessions. Could be like simply just splitting children into different teams or different groups to do our challenges or our sessions, or when we have games at the end of our sessions, make sure like teams are even, or just simple maths like that. Holiday clubs, so outside of school times, I still deliver on our holiday clubs, our road shows. So just simply splitting into teams, making sure there's right staff to children ratios. Also, like things about like equipment, making sure like there's enough equipment for our staff or for
Yeah.
use during sessions. Just like if there's 10 kids and we're doing something, they all need a ball each, need 10 balls. Just simple counting and addition, subtraction, stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you find that students are quite receptive to learning some math skills within, when they are obviously enjoying the session and they're being coached and they're getting to play football? Do you think they are more receptive to learning some math skills then and developing those?
Yeah, sometimes we like to give children ownership to organise their own team, so they'll have to use a little bit of maths in their session, or like we may do some games where you have to collect amount of balls or amount of cones, just a little like agility game. So at the end of that game, you got to count how many points you got for how many cones you've got, how many balls you've got, etc. So they'll be using maths while doing their sports.
Awesome. I asked you a minute ago as well. So how did you find maths when you were at school or college? Was it something that you enjoyed, and was it something that you would use so much when you thought you would use so much in your career?
It's quite similar to Stu. I was, I'd say, a bit stronger at maths than English, sort of, and some other subjects. Obviously, I was very into sports, but maths was slight strength, especially when I was younger in primary school. As got to sort of secondary school, and it got a bit more complicated at times, I did find it a bit more difficult. But using it in my day-to-day life, not even just on sometimes at work, like outside of work, just going to shops and working out your money, like working out your own money. But like it's you use it subconsciously, just using your math skills that you picked up through school, that you don't even know that at the time when you're learning it, you don't know that you're going to use it in the future.
You realise you're suddenly using it all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Adam. It was really interesting, and we're looking forward to working with you both this year as well.
Cheers. Thank you.